Thank you, Sarah. So I am going to do the English course, but I want to preface this with this activity that was built for the writing can be used in any discipline area. It's designed pretty default so that it's easily adapted to different content areas, and we'll take a look at that in just a moment. So just like the recipe that Erin and Sarah have followed, I have followed the very same one. So we're working from the template and the steps within that template. So on the student AI learning or AI competency literacy framework, I chose the domain of ethics and responsible use. So we talk about this subject a lot, right? And also in writing, you'll hear our team talk about process over product. So I took this opportunity to craft out a lesson that's going to follow that design of process over product. So we're going to look at writing and how we use AI as a collaborator. So I determined my focus area was ethics and responsible use. The competency statement that I selected under that domain is demonstrate transparency when using AI generated content. And again, that's in every discipline, right? And the level of applied use, again, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So those are my indicators underneath there. So the next step I needed to do was to take that very generic competency statement and adapt it for the activity that I am designing. So my revised competency or my adapted competency statement is demonstrate transparency by documenting AI use, describing how AI contributed to writing, and explaining decisions made to revise or improve work. The CBE learner-centered competency, and you'll see that noted on that template. It says put it in words that students can easily digest. And in CBE, we call these I can statements because they're framed from the student perspective. So the competency here is I can show how I used AI in my writing, explain what changed or rejected, and clearly communicate my own ideas. So that's crafting out the competency statement that's going to guide my design process. Sarah, if you go to the next slide, please. And also, as I'm working with this, in step 5, we do that course outcome alignment. But one thing I do when I'm doing this design piece with the AI tools is I feed the course outcomes into the very early part of this design process so that the AI is constantly accessing and looking at those learning outcomes. So as we are rolling out how we want this competency activity to look, it's grounded in those outcomes that I've fed it. So I just copy paste those from the syllabus. So on our performance indicators, acknowledge that AI generated work must be cited or disclosed. And I'm going to use a template for that, and I've got that linked for you. Describe appropriate ways to reference or explain AI contributions in academic work. Model transparency by clearly communicating how AI contributed to assignments and projects. So that transparency piece is really, really important when you're working with AI tools as a faculty member and as a student. And so what I'm going to do next is look at the assignment. You'll see I use assignment/assessment. In my mind, when students are demonstrating learning or they're producing learning artifacts, it's all assessment to me. I'm assessing their learning, but we still go back to that assignment word, and so you'll see that kind of assignment/assessment in my work. So assessment idea, it's going to be transparent writing, showing your thinking. So again, we're shifting to process in addition to just a product. The assignment assessment steps has 5 steps. The purpose is to demonstrate writing skills and clearly explain how AI was used and evaluated throughout the process. So students are going to use AI tools to generate 3 topics. And they're going to select a topic, define the audience and purpose. Again, they've got to feed you the prompts, explain those to you, and track their thinking. We'll look at the lesson in just a moment. Then they're going to develop their thesis and outline. They're going to have AI also contribute to that process, and they're going to evaluate what they are designing versus what the AI is designing. And they are going to then explain the differences to you and how they feel about it, reflect on it. They're going to draft, so they're going to write their draft and document how AI collaborated within that draft writing process, again, citing and giving you prompts. And then they're going to revise and explain one change of how they accepted or rejected AI suggestion. That's also another great spot for them to critically evaluate outputs and understand that how AI tools are trained. They don't need to be an expert in it, but it's training on data that's out in the world, right? And so that data could be from Wikipedia, and it could be from a peer-reviewed journal. So it's pulling in all of that information. So they have to critically evaluate that piece and validate. And then finalize and explain. So they're going to submit their final essay and reflection. And this activity, I included a 5-minute oral debrief. And so you'll see when we get over there just a moment that I've given you a set of questions that you can include for your oral debrief. And this is just a quick way, again, for students to show their ownership of their learning and share that with you. So evidence collected throughout this assignment is going to be AI prompts that they are creating, highlighting their AI use, which is going to be citations and showing you that interaction that they're having, revision of explanation, final essay, and then their reflection. And Sarah, I'm going to share, if you don't mind, my screen.
It's all yours.
Okay. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yes. We're looking at the literacy template.
Perfect. So you'll see at the top, I've just put a little blurb about this can be adapted for any course. It's done at a very generic type of level. One thing that you might do if you decide you want to play with this content is you can grab this lesson. We're going to go down and look at it in a second, copy it, paste it out, give the AI tool some context. This is my content area. This is the topic I'm working with, and have it then help you flesh out that activity. And you'll see lots of different creative ideas come from the AI tools. So again, just as Sarah and Aaron have shared with you, this is the information for this particular activity that's plugged into the template that we're providing for you. So you'll see that. This is, again, exactly what's on the slide, so I'm not going to revisit that. Right here is where I want to talk to you about the activity that we have designed. So again, this is transparent AI writing. This assignment is designed to help you. So it's written for students. Develop strong writing skills, learn how to use AI responsibly, practice explaining your thinking and decisions. AI tools are common in the workplace. This is my workforce connection. Employers expect you to use them. What matters is your ability to evaluate what AI produces, make informed decisions, and clearly explain your process. Learning outcomes addressed. So this is tying it back to those course learning outcomes. You will generate and refine ideas, develop clear thesis, demonstrate awareness, and revise and edit your writing. Core requirement, you must demonstrate transparency when using AI-generated content. If you use it at any stage, show the prompt, explain how you use the output, identify what you accepted. I'm going to pop right here 1 second and show you the template that is included for you. So feel free to pull this down. It's in PDF format. You can then save it out as Word format, or you can just recreate this document if you want to. So you'll see students include their prompts, where it was used in the work, so they're sourcing for you, how it was edited or verified, and the citation. So that's what we're getting at when we're looking at students showing the prompts. So if you collect that one and document, and that can go back and forth between you and the student, it's just a really good, clean, concise way to keep up with it. So for idea generation, it's going back through, they're going to initially generate 3 topics, and then they'll refine it to 1. If you're using AI, so we're going to assume that they are, include the prompt, explain. Was AI helpful? Was the output helpful? Was it useful? Was it not useful? Why? Here's a scaffold. scaffold option. So maybe the student doesn't use AI to brainstorm in the beginning. Maybe they generate their own and then generate with AI and do a comparison. That's a really good way to get students started. If they are not sure what they're going to be looking at within the AI outputs. Then they develop their thesis. So you're going to see this in the outline. I'm going to go right on. So if using AI, include the generated version, your revised version, explain what you changed, and be prepared to discuss. I plug that everywhere. So that means that at any point in time through this process, we may have a quick instructor to student discussion about what's happening, how you feeling about it, how you thinking about it. So again, process. What are you learning? What are you learning about the AI tool use? Come on down. Next, they're going to do their draft. And so I reference here the interaction log. There's some bits of tips that I have plugged into here. So you'll see those. It just says remove it once you start to use it. Revision. So they're going to go here, argue with the AI. That's a really fun thing for students to be able to do to understand the outputs. And then the final draft and reflection. And so the reflection is going to be, how did AI support or limit your thinking? What decisions did you make independently? And so we all know that students can use AI tools to generate their reflection. They give it context, generate a reflection for me. So that's why we have the oral debrief. So the oral debrief, I'm going to just briefly show you. It's just a 5-minute oral debrief. And so what I've added here for you are questions that you can pose for the student. I would do this. I would give them the questions, have them record a quick video, or you could do it synchronously through a Teams check-in, however you choose to do that. But here's questions on ownership and understanding, AI transparency, decision-making, critical evaluation of AI, process reflection, career connection. And then if you don't have a lot of time, here's a real quick one. Tell me one place where you changed or rejected AI and why. And so again, they're giving you some feedback on this. And so this is simply a very generic type of writing activity using AI as a collaborator. And you can take that information, plug it into AI, and have it then work with you on your particular content area to flesh out details. And I'm going to hand it back to Sarah.